Excellent. We've been very lucky here with this CU history collection in terms of donations from alumni as well as friends of the university. There's actually quite a few items we're putting in here in our commencement display for the spring 2010 commencement ceremony. In particular, here on the middle shelf, you see a large pennant here with the year 1899 indicated on it. This is actually an alumni pennant from the class of 1899. In the collection, we actually have all the pennants dating from 1887 up till 1937. So we have roughly 50 years of class pennants. And of course, some hard, true, and fast Clarion fans would notice that it's not in Clarion blue and gold, but our colors have changed over many years. And actually, back during these class years, each senior class had their own class colors. So the class colors for the class of 1899 were sort of this teal and white. Sitting here on the pennant, we also have two most recent additions to the collection. These would be class rings. The one on the left is a silver class ring from 1990. The one on the right is a gold class ring from, I believe, 1962. This was actually a donation from an alum, David Bailey, great friend of the university. I believe also a member of the foundation board. Also, we have in two different places here, I'll hold one up for you. This is a commencement invitation from the class of 1892. This is the oldest commencement invitation that we have in our collection. Students who have been sending out commencement invitations in preparation for their graduation. A lot different today than it was back then, but the nice script invitation inviting people to commencement day on June 30th, so a little bit later commencement back then, and they would list the graduates in the program. So we've been lucky to have an 1892, and I'll bring up here as well also an 1894, which they actually put out on parchment. 1894, this would have been the 6th graduating class. Back in 1894 on July 5th, a little bit later in the year. And again, it would list the program inside. So just wonderful pieces that really help us to preserve the history of Clarion University. Up on the top shelf, we have a couple of old photographs prior to the creation of the Clarion Sequel Yearbook. These would be the only class photos that would have been in existence. The one on the left is a class photo from 1887. Standing in front of Founders Hall, so if the spot looks familiar to you, that is the archway entrance to Founders, back then, of course, known as Science Hall. If you can, I'm not sure if you can see or not, but up there, a young man already climbing up there on top of the arch. And you can even see way back in the back the stained glass window that still currently exists in Founders Hall. So, wonderful piece of history showing how we've maintained the history of the university to this day. And then over to the right, you see a more traditional looking commencement photo. This is from the class of 1907. With all the ladies and gentlemen and their graduation photos from that year. Every so often we find one of these photos, and it's a great addition to the collection because the yearbook didn't exist until 1909. So individuals, we'd like to think more than just a name, that we actually have a face. We now see the faces when we collect these type of commencement photographs.